What happens when a Prime Minister's power becomes about personal profit? That's a major accusation. In Britain, leaked documents dubbed the Boris Files are causing quite a storm. They suggest former Prime Minister Boris Johnson exploited his office, his influence, his contacts at 10 Downing Street to make himself richer. British daily The Guardian, working with data from a non-profit transparency group, has uncovered how Johnson may have turned public duty into private gain. Now, there are calls to strip him of a taxpayer-funded allowance money that is meant to help former leaders with public work, not personal business. But before we get into the fallout of what's happened, let's just take a look at what exactly these Boris Files are all about and what they expose, basically, or claim to expose. The leaked files include about 1,820 documents. We are talking about emails, invoices, contracts, all documents showing how Johnson could have operated after leaving 10 Downing Street. And according to the leaked documents, Johnson's engagements include lobbying senior Saudi officials for a firm that he co-chairs. The leaked documents also talking of Johnson's meeting with Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, after which, according to the files, he received money from a hedge fund. The files also suggesting that between October 2022 and May 2024, Johnson was paid money for 34 speeches, the engagements typically earning him hundreds of thousands of pounds, according to the files, as well as generous expenses to cover first-class flight as well as stays in five-star hotels for him and his staff. Now, let's be clear here. It's not unusual for former leaders to give speeches. Various leaders have done so. But you cannot lobby foreign governments or businesses you dealt with when you were in office. Critics say that that's the line that Boris Johnson may have crossed. Long-time transparency campaigner Margaret Hodge has called for tougher lobbying rules, remember, and real punishment as well. She has said, and I'm quoting here, "We need a proper investigation to establish what happened, and we must revisit the rules on both lobbying and the revolving door to make them tougher and more effective, and to ensure they are implemented with proper punitive sanctions." And the Liberal Democrats basically want Johnson's taxpayer allowance frozen immediately. Labour MPs arguing that taxpayer money is a privilege for public service and not a subsidy for private business. So where is the regulator in all of this is the immediate question. A spokesperson for the UK's Advisory Committee on Business Appointments, which is the watchdog that provides advice to former ministers on appointments, has said that it was investigating the files. The Boris Files, as they're being called, also revealing Johnson's taxpayer-funded staff were allegedly tied up in his business work. He has claimed money from the public duty cost allowance since leaving office and his private company. The office of Boris Johnson, meanwhile, was set up just weeks after he quit 10 Downing Street, blurring the line between his public duty and his private profit, allegedly. Now, the allowance in question is called the public duty cost allowance. It goes way back. It was set up after Margaret Thatcher left office. It's supposed to help former PMs with public duties, not bankroll private ventures, of course. Every Prime Minister since has claimed it, but so far there's no evidence that any of them actually used it to run private business. And it's not just about money here. The files reach back into Johnson's time in office, raising fresh questions about undisclosed meetings, COVID-19 lockdown rule breaches, the use of public funds during COVID-19. One revelation particularly, Boris Johnson, according to it, hosted a dinner for a Tory donor who had paid money for his Downing Street flat renovation, just the day after lockdown rules banned indoor gatherings. Other events at 10 Downing Street, while restrictions were in force, are also under the spotlight. So basically, there are two big questions here. Did Boris Johnson break the rules designed to stop the ministers from cashing in after office? And should British taxpayers keep footing the bill for his private office. For now, Johnson has stayed silent, but the Boris Files are not going away. The question marks are still there, and the Boris Files are being examined by the Parliament, by the watchdog, the Court of Public Opinion as well. Shifting focus, Prime Minister Modi today visited Himachal Pradesh to review the devastation caused by the recent cloudbursts, heavy rains, landslides. On the ground and from the skies, the Prime Minister assessed the scale of destruction firsthand. He started that visit with an aerial survey of the worst affected areas, taking stock of the damage caused by the relentless monsoon. And Prime Minister Modi chaired an official review meeting in Kangra, where he was briefed on the ongoing relief and rehabilitation efforts. During the meeting, he announced a financial assistance package of 1,500 crore rupees for the state. Prime Minister Modi met with families who lost their loved ones in the calamity. Expressing his condolences, he assured them that the central government stands firmly with the state in this difficult time. He also announced a sum of 2 lakh rupees for the next of kin of the deceased, 50,000 rupees for the seriously injured. The Prime Minister's next stop was Punjab, which has also witnessed the monsoon fury. The Prime Minister conducted the aerial survey of the flood-affected areas there. Punjab faced the brunt of the monsoon, confirmed 51 deaths and thousands displaced. Relief operations continuing as rivers in the state remain swollen and districts remain inundated. C.P. Radhakrishnan has been elected India's 15th Vice President. He defeats the opposition bloc's candidate, former Supreme Court Judge Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy. C.P. Radhakrishnan won with the support of 452 MPs, well above the majority mark of 376. The opposition bloc, meanwhile, got 300 votes. 752 valid votes were cast in all. In fact, he is the third leader from Tamil Nadu elected to the post. A total of 13 MPs abstained from the voting. And the members of parliament cast their ballots earlier in the day between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Voting in the vice presidential election was carried out by a secret ballot. The Prime Minister cast the first vote, followed by senior leaders, including Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, J.P. Nadda, Kiren Rijiju. Opposition leaders Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra were also among those who voted. The election comes 50 days after Jagdeep Dhankar, remember, resigned as Vice President on July 21, citing health reasons. With over 4 decades of experience in politics and governance, C.P. Radhakrishnan is widely seen as a seasoned leader. Born in the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu, he is a 2-time Lok Sabha MP from Coimbatore and has held key parliamentary roles. Later in Tamil Nadu, he rose to prominence as the state BJP president, followed by his stint as BJP's All India in charge for Kerala from 2020 to 2022. And in the year 2023, he was appointed as the governor of Jharkhand. And in July 2024, he took charge as the governor of Maharashtra. And now he is set to take oaths for India's second highest constitutional position. Is the mystery around the elusive street artist Banksy set to be unraveled? Will the mask come off, revealing the artist's identity? Will the world finally find out who this mysterious artist is? In case you don't know who we are talking about, the artist has been putting out the artwork around the world, but always stayed in the shadows, never revealing the identity. So is that mystery set to be solved? Will all the speculation finally be put to rest? These questions are being asked as the police in the UK launched an investigation into his latest artwork at the Royal Courts of Justice in London. Let's just break this down for you. The work in question purportedly shows a judge in a wig and gown beating a protester. The Metropolitan Police reportedly is examining whether that is enough to put him in front of the court where his name would be revealed to the public. In a statement, it said, quoting, "On Monday, September 8, officers received a report of criminal damage to the side of the Royal Courts of Justice. Inquiries continue," quote unquote. Banksy posted a photo of the work on Instagram, his usual method of claiming a work as authentic. It was captioned, "Royal Courts of Justice, London." Just for more context here, the mural appeared on Monday, and the authorities said on Monday that the new mural will be removed from the wall outside one of London's most iconic courts. Security officials outside the courthouse covered the artwork on Monday with sheets of black plastic and 2 metal barriers, and it was being guarded by 2 officers and a security camera. According to courts and tribunals, because the Victorian Gothic revival-style building is 143 years old, the mural will be removed with considerations for its historical significance, and that the Royal Courts of Justice is a listed building. So there is the obligation to maintain its original character. Listed buildings, by the way, are considered the country's most significant historic buildings and sites and are protected by law. While the artwork does not refer to a particular cause or incident, activists saw it as a reference to the UK government's ban on the group Palestine Action. On Saturday, almost 900 people were arrested at a London protest challenging the ban. The group that organized the protest said in a statement that the mural powerfully depicts the brutality unleashed by the government ban. The courts have weighed in on the Palestine Action case, with the judges initially rejecting the organization's request to appeal its ban. A High Court judge then allowed the appeal to go forward, though the government is now challenging that decision. In a world where technology is rapidly evolving, there is a new threat that has emerged. There is a new one, unfortunately. And it's targeting our most vulnerable, the children. We are talking about AI chatbots. In the latest, Australia's e-safety commissioner has issued a warning saying that artificial intelligence-powered chatbots are a clear and present danger to children. These AI companions, often unregulated and easily accessible to a certain extent, have been found to engage in harmful conversations, reportedly, with minors. Recent reports of AI chatbots encouraging self-harm and engaging in sexually explicit dialogues with the minors have also surfaced. And in response to this escalating concern, the Australian government has introduced a new legislation that is aimed at safeguarding young users online. In Australia, starting December 10, a world-first ban will prevent children under the age of 16 from accessing social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. This move made by the Australian government is part of a broader strategy to protect minors from harmful digital content. It was also emphasized that there is an urgency for the measures, quoting, "I do not want Australian children and young people serving as casualties of powerful technologies thrust onto the market without guardrails," quote unquote. She highlighted reports of children as young as 10 spending up to 6 hours a day interacting with AI chatbots, many of them engaging in sexualized or harmful conversations, reportedly. Under the new regulations, platforms that display or distribute pornography or other high-impact content will be required to implement age-checking technology to prevent children from accessing such material. App stores must also ensure that apps are appropriately rated. That's the recommendation that's been doing the rounds as well. And that age insurance measures are in place for any downloads. Breaches of these rules can result in penalties of up to 49.5 million Australian dollars. These measures are the latest in a series of stringent digital restrictions in Australia, reflecting a global shift towards prioritizing child safety in the digital age. And as technology continues to advance, the need for robust safeguards has never been more critical. In a related development, OpenAI has announced plans to introduce new safety measures for children using ChatGPT, including alert systems that notify the parents if their teenagers show signs of acute emotional distress. during AI interactions. While these steps are a positive move, child safety advocates argue that proactive safeguards and stronger age verification are key to protecting the vulnerable users by default. And as the digital landscape evolves, how can innovation be balanced with the imperative to protect the children is the big question. And the Australian government has taken a bold step. Could it serve as a model for other parts as well? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.